Today is 2 weeks since Nikki went missing. This might be a stupid question to start with, but how are you doing? What's life been like for the last 2 weeks?
Hell. I am still here, obviously. My main focus is the children, always has been. So that's my focus that gets me through. But, you know, I think when you're going through something like this, you can't put it into words. I can't say how I'm doing. I can't really explain it because it's not your every day of the thing. You know, nobody knows really anybody who's ever gone through anything like this. Who knows anybody who knows anybody? So it's just an impossible situation for everybody, involved.
I think that's the thing, because it's hard to imagine what you're going through. Can you even put it into words for us, the sort of emotions that you're feeling at the moment?
Anger, utter frustration, confusion, disbelief, surrealism. Nothing feels real. I
was going to ask you that. What feels like you're living someone else's life, or how does it feel?
It just doesn't feel real. Yeah, it's in the Truman Show. Well, I feel like I'm in the Truman Show. Like, I honestly believe I'm going to wake up at any moment. Yeah, it's just. I was just talking to Louise before, Nicky's sister, and we just say the same thing every day. Just, how are we even in this? We're good people. We are good people. We try to live the best life that we can, do the right thing by everybody. You appreciate the small things. You know what I mean? This is the kind of thing that you see on the telly in dramas and stuff like that.
You said that your main priority was the girls. Can I ask you how they're doing? Because, you're missing the woman that you love, but they're missing their mum. And the questions they must be asking you are heartbreaking at the moment.
Yeah, it's impossible. Any parent knows, that all you want to do is make everything better for your children, isn't it? Whenever they're worried or they're scared or anything like that, you want to make it better for them. And I can't do that. So all I can do is be as strong as I can so that they don't see the level of worry on my face. Reassure them as much as I can with what we know, which isn't much, and then try and distract them, so that their mind's not focused on it. I find that's the best way of doing it.
They need hope.
Yeah.
And you've got to hold on to that as tightly as you can. Every time they ask you where mummy is, how does anybody even convey that to when you're going through it as well?
Again, it's just an impossible situation. The only thing that I can do is tell them that everybody is looking for mummy. The best people in the world are looking for mummy. Just to give them that, that level of hope that they can understand that everything that can be done to find mummy is being done.
I think for the vast majority of people watching on, Nikki is a face on a poster at the moment. Tell us a bit about her. What's she like?
She is fun. She is loving. She is, if you're friends with her, she's the most loyal friend that you could ever have. With Nikki, what you see is what you get. There's no hidden. Nothing's hidden. You know, it's all. That's her, and she is an exceptional mum, and she absolutely, you know, adores our girls. Goes above and beyond. I was saying to Emma the other day, I don't think that she's been away from them like for more than like 1 or 2 nights, you know, since you know we've had, you know, our eldest, and she's a pillar of strength, you know, to our family, and without her, you know, the whole is, you know, bigger than you could possibly imagine.
2 weeks ago. Now, her partner Paul talked to me earlier today. We're showing his interview throughout the programme for you tonight. He spoke in depth about the day Nicola went missing.
Can I ask you to take us back to 2 weeks today, that morning of Friday, the 27th of January?
Yeah.
Was it a normal morning like any other?
Yeah, totally normal. So the only difference that morning was, you know, usually, you know, when you've got children, getting up on a school day, you know, you probably know yourself, is just mayhem, isn't it?
Yeah, carnage, yeah.
Yeah, absolute carnage. So the only difference on that morning 2 weeks ago was that there wasn't a lot of rushing. I came down and a lot of stuff was already done. It was, you know, the girls were having a breakfast and everything was pretty much ready to go. I came down, and Nikki went upstairs to get ready. And then, you know, the routine is basically if Nikki's taking the girls and Willow, when I hear her come down, I'll get them in the car, get them strapped in, get Willow in the boot and all that. And Nikki comes out, give her the keys, and off they go.
It's a well-oiled machine normally. And sometimes you walk the dog and take the kids to school, and on that morning it was Nikki's job.
Yeah, and then if it's my job, usually the roles are reversed. Yeah. So yeah, again, it was just nothing out of the ordinary. Everything was normal. You know, because my working hours, because I work for a US firm, so my hours are like 6 hours behind UK time. So I don't usually start work till a bit later in the morning. So when Nikki takes the girls to school, I then know that I've got like an hour to myself on that morning when she takes them. So I always quite look forward to that, you know, because I wave them off, and then I go in the house and I put the kettle on, make a cup of tea, and I think, right, I've got an hour.
Bit of peace. So at what point are you thinking something's not right here? When did it feel, where's Nikki? At what point did that kick in?
So she's usually back like 9:45 average, 10 o'clock, you know, at a push. So I'd gone up into the office at 10, thinking that she'd be back in a minute. So I logged on, I was just going through some emails and stuff, you know, setting my day up, and it got to say 10:15, and that's when I thought, you know, she's later than usual, but I still wasn't like particularly worried, because she has come back at 10:15 sometimes. Like she might just get talking to Emma or another
find a friend
mom.
on a dog walk.
Yeah, or anybody. So, you know, it's not often, but she has got back at about 10:15, 10:20. So again, I wasn't like massively concerned or anything. Then it got to 10:30, and that's when I thought, you know, she's, you know, quite late now, more late than usual. So I tried ringing her phone, and there was no answer. I tried ringing her on WhatsApp, and again there was no answer. So I tried the mobile again, and no answer. So I couldn't get her. I started to get a bit panicky, I think. So that's when I thought, right, I'm going to have to go down there and see if she's all right. You know, see if I can see the car or you know, see what's going on. But I still expected that I'd just get there and just, oh, there she is, you know. So I go to the gym on a Friday lunchtime. So I quickly got my gym stuff on, because I just thought, basically, I'm going to go out, find her, come home, do a bit of work.
Carry on, yeah.
Yeah, lunchtime, go to the gym. I was going to leave, and then the phone rang, and it was the school. and it was the receptionist at school, and she said, Mr. Ansell, it's a bit of a weird one. Willow. So it's a bit of a weird one, but we've found Willow and Nicky's phone on the bench, and the harness halfway down the embankment on the floor. So, because
you're already worried at this point.
Yeah, because I'm just about to leave. So I've got my gym stuff on. I'm about to leave, thinking I'm gonna see her, you know, pass her, get there and find her. Then I get that call, and in an instant, it's like your whole.
Of course.
Because I knew straight away that it wasn't normal. You know what I mean? Like, because I said, well, where is she? And like, but they can't find her. So I also know that she would never in a million years leave Willow. Like, Willow is like our third child. So I know, like, she'd never, like, the fact that Willow's just in the field on her own, off the lead, obviously extremely concerning. So, obviously, I'm just in a mad panic then, you know, because I got hit by that weird, it's like your world just drops out, because you know something's weird has happened. So I got in the car, drove down there, ran down the river to where the bench is. Somebody had Willow, and obviously there was a few other dog walkers there and stuff like that. Handed me Willow, handed me Nicky's phone. I still expected, obviously, to just have a look around and, well, there she is, or there she is. So, you know, we're all looking. I'm like walking off into the field that way, like looking around the corners, looking over the hedge, looking over the stile, and, you know, nothing. But I'd rung 999 on the way, because I obviously knew something was wrong. So the police rang me then, while I was at the bench, and said, look, you've got to get home, because the police are going to be coming to your house. We need somebody at your house. You get home, the police are on the way there. So I'd rung the police at like, I think about 10 to 11, and they were there, like they got there at 25 past. So they were there, you know, really, really quick. So I then, you know, I'd gone home then, taken Willow back. Police officer would come to the house, and, you know, although I was like obviously extremely worried and concerned, I still expected at any second she'd just go, oh, we found her, you know, we've found her here, or whatever. And that, yeah, I mean, that never happened. Like, that was just the day then, just, you know, just spiraled, and end of the day came, and no answers. Here we are, you know, 2 weeks later.
We'll hear the truth.
What do you think might have happened?
We've always tried to keep all options open, because we don't want to shut down any avenue. You know, we've always been very careful that we don't want to say, oh, we think it's that, and then push that when it might not be. The most obvious thing, of course, has always been the river. It's always been my gut instinct and her sisters and family that that isn't the case. Extensive searching, you know, is probably well aware has gone on in that river. I mean, they were in there, you know. I mean, I have to categorically say I cannot fault the police in any of this. They have been incredible, and the relationship that we have working on this is very, very strong. It's very good. So this isn't any criticism of them at all. I want to make that clear. But the fact that they were in, the divers and underwater rescue team and all that, were in that river on the day, and thankfully found absolutely nothing in the part where you would, I guess, have to presume is her last known location. If you take all those things into account, the unlikeliness of it, you know, you would have to sort of say that really the river isn't what happened. And so we always felt that the mobile phone and the harness and everything, it could possibly be a decoy. Again, we don't have evidence.
No, but these are things that you naturally would think about, because, you know, the team's call was still active at the time, wasn't it? And the Willow's harness is on the floor, and, you know, I'm sure these are things that constantly you're thinking about.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, like, the only thing we're bothered about is finding her. Like, there's nothing else matters. That's the only thing that we're bothered about, is just finding her. So, you know, it's of course you're going to be thinking these things. And so the more searching of the river that went on, the more confident we were that it wasn't the river. You know, especially things like, again, you know, it's not nice talking about it, but at the same time we've taken hope from it. The fact that no item of clothing or anything has been found anywhere where you would have thought something, you know, would have...
Something might have been found, yeah.
Yeah, and absolutely nothing. So, for me, personally, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm 100% convinced it's not the river. That's my opinion.
And I suppose the question after that is, what then? And and the difficulty is you allowing your mind to think where she might be and what's happened to her, which is horrible as well, I imagine.
Yeah, it's horrendous, because people don't just vanish into thin air. It's absolutely impossible. So something has happened. Something has happened. Find out what it is. Find out what it is. There has to be a way to find out what happened. There has to be. You cannot walk your dog down a river and just vanish into thin air. Something happened that day. Something. Find out what it is. And my plea now is, personally, I want every house, every garage, every outbuilding, the land scrutinised. I want it all searched. I want it all scrutinised. Every piece of it. And I'm not going to. You're not going to appease me with anything else. That is what I want to happen, because for something to have happened there, it's not many. You would only know that area by local people. It's a local area. We've walked down there for years, and I mean years. You see the same faces every single day, and on the very odd occasion when you see somebody that, you know, you don't know, they stand out like a sore thumb.
And I think that's an important point to make, because there might be some people watching this thinking, why are you doing this? Why are you talking to us? And the reason you're doing that, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is because you feel that somebody out there knows something, and that's the appeal that you're trying to make. Yeah,
definitely. Definitely, and I'm just pleading with them, just please, anything, no matter how tiny, just please, just come forward with it, please, because that could be the key to finding her. And as a family, we're not bothered about anything else. Like, there's nothing else. The only thing is, we just have to find her.
You've told us a bit about who Nikki is.
Yeah. I hope...
Was she ever the sort of person who might go away for a night or leave for a few days? You know what I mean?
It's about as far out of character as you could get. You know, I truly mean that. Like, even as a couple, on the odd occasion, if we ever do have a night away from the girls, because the girls are our world. Like, we go out for meals, the girls come with us.
Our whole family.
Yeah, everything that we do is, the girls are in it, they're involved in it, and that feels right. You know, that's how we love it. We love our little family, we love our world.
And your gorgeous dog Willow's been spending a bit of time with us as well, and it's also that thing that Willow may well have seen.
I know.
To Nicky.
I know, and that's another layer of frustration and hell to it. You know, it's a hellish situation with the layer of hell that not knowing what's happened yet, and then also having Willow, who probably does know what happened, but she can't tell us, can she? And she had a very sensitive dog. I did take her back there first thing on the Saturday.
So
the day
the
after.
next day?
The next day, yeah, I took her back there first
How
thing.
did she react to that then?
Well, I was praying and hoping that once we got to the gate, that she would do something different, you know, just to
Take you somewhere?
Yeah, just give some sign of some kind. But she, bless her, she just went through the gate like any other normal day and ran into the field and looked at me excited that she was there for a walk. I was saying to her, where's mummy, you know, and she was just looking at me like, you know, let's go for a walk.
There's been a lot of publicity around Nicky's disappearance, hasn't there? And I suppose you are one of those stories that is very much talked about on social media at the moment. I don't know whether you've read the stories, the accusations, all the theories that are out there. Does that upset you, or are you happy that people are talking about and trying to find a solution?
It would be upsetting, of course, if I let myself read it all. Don't get me wrong, I have seen some stuff. Most people have been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you're always going to get that 2% of people that, for whatever reason, you know, say and do not very nice things. But I don't want to give any energy to that. Like, my energy is just finding Nicky. I read one that said the police need to look at the partner, and I'm sort of like, well, yeah, that's the first thing that they do. Like, of course it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, I knew that would happen, you know, on the first day.
And I suppose you expect that, don't you? Yeah.
I expected that. I said to them, do it and get that out of the way, and then focus on
finding her.
On finding her and focus on the rest of it. So that's exactly what we did. You know, it was that was done, ruled out, obviously, and then move on. So, you know, whatever, you know, people want to say, and you know, if that's what they want to think, that's their business. It's not mine.
But I know you've also been struck by the amazing response locally, and you know, just being here for today, everybody's talking about it. Everyone's asking how you are, and the local community, whether they're standing out on the street corner or putting posters up or just asking questions, they are doing an amazing job. Yeah,
it's absolutely incredible. Like, it's heartwarming. It's given us an immense amount of strength, and it's kept that hope so high. That we can't thank them enough.
How are you keeping it? Is that the kids? Is that your natural positivity?
It's all of those things. Of course it's the children, of course. But I am naturally a positive person, and I believe that you get out of life what you put into life. And that's how we are as a family. And so what we're going through now is like unprecedented hell, but that hope and that positivity in me is stronger than ever, and I'm never ever going to let go. Nicky would never give up on us, ever. She wouldn't give up on anybody, and we're not going to ever give up on her. Like, we're going to find her.
We were talking earlier, and you were saying that one of the plans you had was to get married during the pandemic, but you sort of, like many people, you had to abandon those plans. Is that something that you think, you know, when she's back, this is what we're doing?
Yeah, I'm far too laid back sometimes for my own good, but also my attitude is, you know, we'll get around to it. It'll be fine, And so we have obviously spoken about, you know, marriage many times before, and then we had the children. When your children are, you know, obviously, you know, little, it's, you know, all time consuming. And then as they were growing up, we always said when they're a bit older, you know, it'd be a nice time to do it, and they can be a part of it. They can, you know, be the bridesmaids and everything. So that was always the plan. And so, you know, it's just now. You know, it's something we would have obviously, you know, spoken about it and moved forward with again, but and still will.
There is a chance, isn't there, that somehow she might be out there even watching this. If you could say something to her, what would you say to Nikki now?
Just how much I love her, how much us as a family love her and need her, how well thought of, how much her friends love her and need her back, and we're never going to be the same until she is back. Just come home.
Are you going to be okay?
I will, as long as she comes home. But yeah, I have to be okay for the children. But obviously the hope inside me that she's going to come home. That I can't let myself, you know, think of anything else. It isn't an option in my head. We deserve a happy ending to all of this. You know, you can't have this level of support, this level of love and compassion and hope and prayers without getting the reward from that. In my mind, that is impossible. You know, when you think of all the hope and everything that's going out there, it has to come back. And that has to bring her home.
I really appreciate you talking to us. I know it's impossibly difficult. You've described your life at the minute as a living hell. I hope what you said makes a difference as well. And I think everybody watching this will join me in saying that we all hope that Nikki comes home and that she is safe and well and you can be back together.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Once again, here are the numbers for you to call if you think you can help.